by Dr. Makshuriel Ben Yehuda from Israel. He's a black man. He left America 30 years ago, but he's writing about Barack Obama from a perspective outside of, you know how they say, get out of the box? He's out of the box, and he's writing from it from his perspective, and he says that he predicted Barack Obama was going to win a long time ago. He also predicted that Colin Powell was going to come out and speak, and he's going to do that tomorrow. But it touches on numerology, astrology, phrenology. He doesn't call it astrology, he calls it celestial science because that's a Greek term. But, I mean, all of the metaphysics point to Barack Obama as being who he is, even though Barack doesn't really know. I see him moving more into spirituality, but he really doesn't know how powerful he is and how much work he has to do on this earth plane. But we'll be sewing it back there. Okay.
All right. We got the documentation pretty much for the night, so if you want to get some further, I'm on?
2, yes.
I'm on?
Yes.
Was she on?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so if you need some more documentation, some bibliography on this Barack Obama thing, we also have a book which I've written. I'm glad she gave me my copy, which that's a blessing. Always, you know, since February, and I got a few DVDs. I think you have some. You get about Sister Stephanie and Leslie. They have them and stuff on the whole Obama thing. I've been doing that since February. And it hit right after I was here, November? Right. So it hit in February, but there's a lot of interesting things, and I'm going to go through some of that also. I'm going to go through some of all that also. Also, this brother, this brother, I think he made the transition, this is one of Ohio's own masters. Was a master teacher for me and a lot of brothers in Atlanta. See if I got it. I thought I just had it. I thought I just had it. But anyway, it was a brother C. Freeman. Some of you all know him. What was his name? They called him something else down here. But anyway, this was the master who made the transition. And I've gotten better pictures since then, but I haven't been able to put them on transparency. A master was in his 70s, and was a master. A lot of things he said. That's when you know a true spiritualist. They'll say something, and it'll come true by 5 years later. Damn. So I'm constantly hearing certain things that C. Freeman would say. And this brother was a great master, and I'm constantly hearing stuff that he would say that's interesting here. Because one time we got into a discussion about Illuminati and all this stuff, what they're doing on the conspiratorial side. This was back in 1998 because we both had our office down at Starbucks Coffee in the middle of downtown Atlanta. So everybody here. I don't think I had a phone then, and he didn't have a phone. The reason my phone, what happened was it got cut off one day, and I was so peaceful because I messed around and gave out the phone number on about 3 or 4 lectures, and they went around the country. So I was getting phone calls at 6 in the morning. Niggas calling at 5 on the full-fledged lecture. You know. And so what happened was it was a discrepancy. Something happened with the phone company. Anyway, they cut it off for a few days. And I left it off for 2 damn years just to get out of just to leave that crew and stuff. So people, it was like, well, damn, Bobby's I went into the wilderness for a minute just to hide from all the phone calls and stuff. And I made that mistake. I never do that no more. Just like Michael Jackson or somebody. I was getting phone calls and stuff, you know. When I'm trying to cook and eat and stuff, people calling on the whole lecture. Nobody sending no money. Anyway, what happened was, so the rumor got out, well, you know, because Bobby and C. Freeman, they got their office down at Starbucks. And it was a building, an equitable building downtown, right in the middle of downtown Atlanta and stuff, you know. So we would sit out there, and it was full of black women working in the corporate world. And they would come down and give us all this respect. And so one day, one sister who was conscious came down and she said, And we was talking on, and she said, I need to ask y'all something. You all brothers got some money on. You all brothers got money. She said, I see you with expensive bags, and y'all both are dressing out. He dressed in African clothes, and you dressed in all kind of $100 pants. But we know y'all got cash because y'all don't work. And I was like, no, it's quite the opposite. But I said, but it's something that you all will recognize. I said, because what you're actually recognizing is the magic. You're recognizing prosperity. A lot of times prosperity don't necessarily have to mean monetary. You see what I'm saying? I said, so you're recognizing the prosperity. I said, both of us have wisdom, which is riches itself. That's what the real Jews are of knowledge.
Right.
And I said, and what we both work for ourselves, we do lectures. And I said, but you know, it's not enough to make us rich, but we don't have to go to a 9 to 5. And so, but I said, but it's interesting because all the women up in there was thinking, they got these 2 rich guys downstairs. And there was nothing just other than us not being bums and sitting up around there drinking coffee, and you know, we was dressed nice. They had no indication that we was rich. So what would make some people think that we were rich? And basically, all the women and all those people was picking up prosperity, but a lot of times prosperity don't necessarily mean monetary.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we used to sit there, and we sat there for about 1 or 2 years and stuff. And he used to say certain things, like, and one time we was talking, like I said, he was talking about the Illuminati or something. And he said, why worry yourself about shit that you can't do nothing about? And I'm kind of startled about that. And in so many words, it ended up coming up to be a lot of the stuff that they're giving us on the Illuminati and a lot of stuff they're giving us on conspiracy is to keep us in fear. Because fear shuts down melody. You see what I'm saying? Fear shuts down melody. You see what I'm saying? And that's what happens even with people. You know, you have soldiers, you know, when, you know, especially you got a lot of people, they get in college, they're in high school, they're in college, and they are fearful warriors. Talking shit, just, you know, all this shit and stuff. As soon as they get that job, you see what I'm saying? Well, that's the fear that I got to watch out for. You see what I'm saying? Then, you know, I got a couple of kids, and I got this woman, or I got this man. So there's certain things that society will give you on the fast track to make you just think about it a minute. Wait a minute, maybe I need to slow down a little bit. But before that, you had all that fear when nothing was at stake. Well, they know this as far as the Illuminati and these particular people, or the conspiratorial people, that in so many words, we would be able to put them on lockdown by telling them what we're going to do, or telling them what we are about, than just keeping them in the dark and they're being ignorant. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of things now is, he's weak. They are weak. But they want to keep you in fear. You see what I'm saying? They want to keep you in fear by telling you all this what they're going to do and all this what they can't do. They can't do nothing. You see what I'm saying? Even if they had their hands even in electing Barack Obama, which we know that you can't even get up there to run for president unless you meet certain criteria. Whatever they're doing, it doesn't matter because they done been on board and they could because they chose the melanin. You see what I'm saying? And they chose a man that's married to a black woman whose family is from the Congo. That's that Apollo. Her family from that whole Gullah thing from South Carolina. I think Georgetown, she got family members and stuff like that, you see. And he even says she's my rock. So she's the no-nonsense motherfucker getting ready to go up in that White House. So whether they plan, even if they have plans for things, you see what I'm saying? Because you chose melanin, you see what I'm saying? The spirit world had plans. So it means that certain things supersede all the plans that you think you have, that you might have. You see what I'm saying? Certain things are going to override that. So we got to look at the spiritual aspect of things. You see what I'm saying? The spiritual aspect of things. But anyway, this particular brother was from this area. The other parts of Ohio. But anyway, I needed to put that made it back. He died. I think he made the transition in. He made the transition in. I think it was. It was like March or something. Early March or something. He made the transition, and he, like a spiritual master, made the transition. Like most people who have a certain amount of attainment of spirituality, they just basically just leave. You see what I'm saying? So, and basically, when we caught up with him, he went straight to the higher upper echelon. The higher upper echelon. I'm going to talk about this lady here. and one of her friends. This is a woman out of Australia, of African origins. A lot of stuff looks deceiving these days. You can't tell what in certain bloodlines. They even show, and stuff like that. So there's all types of various hues of black people all over the planet. So a lot of times looks are deceiving. You see what I'm saying? Looks are deceiving. And I put her in because she's the top witch in Australia. Her name is Deborah Gray. She has out a video which I brought to the area. So what we'll do is I think I brought one with Leslie and I gave Stephanie one of those particular videos. Just to see what people are getting into as far as our scientific studies, which is what we call magic, or what we call ritual is our technology. You see what I'm saying? It's our technology. And what happened was one day I woke up one Saturday and I told my queen, remember, I said, we need to go out to one of the metaphysical bookstores and we need to get some stuff, try to find some DVDs on witchcraft. So when we got there, all certain things wasn't looking nice and that just looked like some junk. And in this particular person, because I got the cover of the DVD, she showed up, and I said, "Wait a minute, this looks like the one that we need. This looks like the one that we need." And so, bought it, watched it, and then she appeared the next morning. You see what I'm saying? You can't see it?
I'm just saying that you need to adjust it so where we can't, the machine is in the way of the pictures.
You're right here.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, will the thing tilt up?
Yeah, we don't have to adjust this because I had problems. Yeah, and then adjust. That's it. Yeah.
Can you sit on the lower part of the table?
Well, I can. Yeah, we can do this because last week I was in Detroit. We had problems with that. And also look and see if when I stand in front of this overhead, do I cast a shadow? Because with a bright light, you see more of a shadowy figure.
Right. You do.
So we have to get all that right. But wow. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. You want to get, well, hey, are you still on?
Yes.
Well, you go ahead and cut that off so we can get technical difficulties.
Okay.
We don't want it to look like Ohio all makeshift.
Oh, we can edit it.
We
can do some editing.
Black minutes, you go on black minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we'll pour a little libation, then we'll get into it. But we're just going to start a certain way. I'm going to a question and answer. Yours is on?
No, we got the time.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm on?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a question and answer early, and that will distinguish what cities we in. Because I was in Detroit last week, and those are the two hottest cities where black people suffer the most, and the energy is always powerful. So people around the country be like, I like the Cleveland lectures and I like the Detroit lectures. You see what I'm saying? Because these are third world countries. As a result, they say the most powerful people live in the wilderness.
All right. Say that there.
It's always that way. And sometimes we have to, at this particular time, we can't measure success based on turnout. We got to measure success based on who is here. And that's the type of energy. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of energy. You see what I'm saying? Because we used to have massive turnouts when I started. I mean, 200 people, 300 people. And then after a while, it started dwindling down to the priests, the adepts. You see what I'm saying? You see? So we're dealing with the adepts now other than the inepts. You see what I'm saying? So this is going on. I'm going back to this. Now, where's your light switches?
It's all on the light panel.
Huh?
It's all on the light panel. It's coming through.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's coming through good on the camera.
Oh, it's coming through good? You can see it.
Yeah.
Now, what I was talking about, the reason why I was getting this sister here, because believe me, if she wasn't of African origin, she couldn't even penetrate the temple that I'm in. temple that I'm in. Anybody seen the tape on Bobby Hemmitt at home? Or a home interview? Okay, right. Well, if you can't, we brought some of those here. That way, if you want to get access, you can always get access to this stuff. But anyway, so when she penetrated the temple and came, and I could feel her essence the next day after watching the video, and then we started channeling from. I said, wait a minute. First thing I asked was, where did she come from? They said, she came from Cuba. Now, so you learn things. You learn things as you go on. Like, take for instance, last summer, me and the Queen was riding around town, and everywhere we went, white people started bowing down to us. I'm like, damn, I'm getting treated better by white people than I am black people. Spirit was trying to say, we're trying to show you that this African thing is much more global. And there are some people that incarnate in certain ways, you see what I'm saying? And a lot of times you can't detect based on skin color. You see what I'm saying? Because they're saying, well, hey, let's look at this. And, half of Europe was originally black people that settled Europe. You see what I'm saying? So, for some type of way, these bloodlines get crossed up. So this particular person here has a tape out called Wish Upon a Spell. One that got the tape. But what I was interested in, because the thing about it here is, I said, well, so why are you contacting? They said, well, they got 100,000 witches. Mm-hmm. They had 50,000 at the first count in 2000. By 2006, they got 100,000 witches, male and female, in Australia, doing the magic. You see, doing the magic. She's the top Australian witch, and in so many words, a lot of the ones that got to come up under her. Now this is interesting here. In the video, there's another woman that's darker. She literally looks Native American, almost East Indian. And I'm talking about this to tell you what happened. So, in the video, her name was Linda Star Woman or something like that. Anyway, she's talking about her experience with astrology and the goddesses. And they went to visit this older white woman who was a witch that had worked on Wicker Man. There's a Wicker Man from the 70s, and there's a Wicker Man that came out in 2006. The 2006, they just wiped out all the magic in the version. But the one from the 70s, they go through all the rituals. You see what I'm saying? She said that we worked on that movie in the 70s, and we still left out a lot of stuff. But she's like one of these, I don't know if she can even walk. She's a big woman, and she was looked like she was in her late 60s. And so they asked, what are you witches, or what do you all follow in Australia and whatever? They say, look, they said that when it all comes down, this thing is about the Camite or Egyptian gods and goddesses. That's also, they say that ultimately, that's the higher form of what they deal with when they deal with the whole Wicca thing. You see what I'm saying? Now this is interesting here, but the Linda Star Woman, she comes on and she started dealing with some stuff, and she looked Native American or even East Indian, but looked like the darker set, and then come to find out that she made the transition in 2004 from breast cancer. So the first thing I said is, I called this brother up named Panic. I said, I need you to get in touch with her. Got in touch with her. He got in touch with her. And the first thing she said, the reason why I'm talking about this is what she said about what we don't know who we are. Just like the sister was like, Barack Obama don't know who he is. A lot of times we don't even know who we are. And this is what the woman said. Because there's another white woman named Rhonda. You ever heard of her, Rhonda? Anyway, somebody had asked a question, and she said, well, the brothers in Harlem ain't the brother in Africa. As they say, that the brother, the people over here is a deterioration from the African. I said, no, you got it wrong. We are high tech. new and improved for the simple fact we went through the milling process in the alchemical thing of the DNA and the new God. That's why the government is studying us.
Yeah, right.
Let nobody fool you about this. So Ronka made that statement. Now this woman was she's in the physical body. So this woman makes the transition, goes to the spirit realm, and this is what this woman said. I wish I could have. They only had her. I downloaded her pictures, and I wish I could have had the picture of the woman I'm talking about. But she's on the video. It's called "Wish Upon a Spell" by Deborah Gray, which is this lady here. But Leslie and Stephanie, I gave them too. So you get in touch with them if you want to get them. That's how we do things. We leave certain things behind. Like I just left for Parliament Funkadelic with the mothership coming down from the 70s. You got that here. You know that footage. You don't see the one where they have the mothership. You see it on TV, but that whole concert and stuff, that P-Funk Earth tour in the 70s. So anyway, when he got in touch with this woman in the spirit realm, this is what this woman said. She said, these are her words, she sounded happy. She said, I had no idea. And this is what this woman said. Huh? Oh, the mic. That's right. Okay, yeah, okay, good. She said, I have no idea that in this realm, it's like a pyramid. They have the ones that first get there. Then they have several levels of spirits. Now listen closely to what I'm getting ready to tell you. So they have the spirits that arise. Then they have the gods, the Orishas, the Nettas. And this is what she said. But the highest that he was set over the Nettas or the Orishas, she said, I never knew. I'm baffled. She said, I never knew that the highest of this realm is the Negroes walking around with their pants down outside. I want you to hear what I'm saying because we don't analyze. That's our fucking problem. We don't analyze shit. Listen to what this woman said. She said, I never knew that the highest that sets over the Orishas, the Nettas, you said, how is this possible? Well, I'll explain. She said, I never knew that the brothers and sisters are walking around with their pants down. You see what I'm saying? What you call the garbage is the God's own high. This is what the woman analyzed. She was a witch. She had enough melanin to get where she was, and she just told it like it was. And I said, now that is profound. She said, because I'm baffled. She said, because when I was on earth, I was thinking it was some white gods. Based on what have you. Even if I thought they was black, I thought they didn't know. She said, even if I thought they didn't even have no appearance, I didn't know there was some niggas from the ghetto. See what I'm saying? Now, how is that? Because you got to realize, they said I'm going to take the last and make them first.
Come on.
You get it? We're the ones that made the transition. If a diamond has to be in a state, you see what I'm saying, of pressure for the stone to crystallize into a diamond. You understand what I'm saying? You see, so that is our plight. That is our alchemical thing with our DNA. We are the highest. You see where I'm coming from? So I just want to put that out here. I just want to put that out here. I want to say a couple of things that I'm going to be selling right quick to get this out of the way. And so, in so many words, what happened? Anybody ever saw the movie Dark Crystal? I'm surprised how many people haven't seen that movie. This movie they took them 5 years to make that. Jim Henson and all the Star Wars crew, all of them. Gary Kurtz, which was produced the first Star Wars, Frank Oz, who was the voice of Yoda. And it took them 5 years from 1980. I think it was from 1978 to 1982 to make this movie. And it's probably the most serious movie where you got to connect the dots with Star Wars and those. Which it's obvious, but this movie just straight out. The Dark Crystal. Anyway, one of the artists in the Dark Crystal is the one that drew this. to this. And basically what happened was the entities will come through and to give them these visions. I'm going to show you another vision in a few minutes. I'm going to show you another vision in a few minutes on how the entities will come through and give visions. And then they would just actually just channel it onto the easel. Get where I'm coming from here? So that means this is a legitimate spirit of healing. The only thing, the reason why I didn't produce it, I'm just producing it last week for the first time. I've had it since January. But I didn't produce it because of the simple fact I didn't know it was going to be too expensive for color. But I didn't know about the black and whether it would be all right in black and white. So what happened was the entity came through and said, yes, I can do the same thing for black and white. So if people need healing on any type of healing, there's nothing minor or major. This is one that you need to get and put over your bed, or put over some people's bed that's terminally healed. And I learned it's not a couple of other people's sickness and illness and disease or what have you. So I'm dealing with that. I want to show you that right quick. And while we're on this part about how entities can come through, let me explain this to you. The Santeria community. Am I in focus when I move? Am I in focus?
Yes.
Okay. The Santeria community. In the early 90s, they commissioned artists to draw the Orishas. That's the Yoruba gods, Santeria gods. They commissioned artists. So they commissioned one artist that actually captured them out of the chain, because what they did was a part of them commissioning them. One of the things they had to do was to go into the spirit world and find out how these particular entities would look. So it's just like that guy that did this and came down and got this entity of healing. They went into the spirit world to find out how the Orishas look. And this is very interesting here. I want to show you this. Let me get out my stuff. I want to show you this to see if I got all of them. Hold on 1 minute. This is where I got my best of them right here. I'm going to show you this. Because when they got to Shango, I'm going to show you this, I'm going to show you a couple things. When they got to Shango, which is the god of lightning, there's another name for the god of lightning. The Kenyan name for the god of lightning is Barak. Now, when this is 16 to 17 years ago now. When they got to Shango, the god of lightning, his face, the face that they drew, that they saw from the spirit world, was this face. Is that Barack Obama? Now, remember, this is 17 years ago, they're drawing a likeness. Look at the ears. Look at the hair stubble. I'll show you the whole picture. This is the one we got for $5. You got that sigil of healing. You got this one. This also appears on my London video, a flash of it. But this is the Barack Obama as Shango. See what I'm saying? And this was done over 15 years ago, so they didn't even know who Barack Obama was. See what I'm saying? We just got the name being enlightened in January, after Iowa, Barack. But just to show you the face, that's a good likeness to say you're drawing something from a vision that you're seeing with the whole with the whole Shango thing. You're doing a vision to try to visualize how the entities came, and this is the actual the aspect it came. So this is the point about this is it means that in so many words, everything they did to try to destroy him is always reversed, because they don't realize they're dealing with gods. You see what I'm saying? So he has the backup of Shango. You see what I'm saying? So we also have this for sale also. And I just wanted to put that out in evidence as we're still doing this research. But now this is interesting here because I had this book, I got this book in 95, gave the book away, couldn't find it again, went out of print, couldn't find it on the internet, couldn't find nothing, and had to go get a Spanish book. Well, all Spanish, and they just so happen to have these particular lithographs of the Orishas, and lo and behold, of the Orishas, and when I got it, and last year when I was showing, I was actually showing the picture of Big Mama Hemmitt when I actually got it. When I actually got it, I didn't even realize that this was even in there until I did the research and I found out his name was Barack. I said, well, let me go look and see what the picture of what the people did in the spirit did, and then I realized that they did the Obama picture. 16 years before, I mean, at that time, I think he was just getting out of law school, in it or what, I don't know. My point here was it was nothing even in his mind. You see, it's very interesting, very interesting. Now this is one that came through. This is Marie Laveau invoking a big, strong buck. And so her word was, this particular picture will help any type of women that's looking for a mate. We know we got a bad deficit in the black community. You see what I'm saying? It's like 70% of all black women are alone. So her gift was, get this picture here and encase it, you can make a shrine out of it and see what happens. You see what I'm saying? And see what happens. It's trying to show you some stuff that's for sale. So that's what's going on. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to put this up right quick. We're going to go into a question and answer. Let me pull libations first. And then we can go into a question and answer. We can go into a question and answer. Right quick, and then we'll start some stuff. But before I do that, I just want to deal with it. I just went to, just put them down there. And I just came back from London, which was an experience because they've been trying to get me to go to London since 2003. They were calling, yeah, I'm going to give them a passport. And then I forget about it. And maybe the spirit was blocking me from going. You see what I'm saying? That was blocking me from going. So this brother called. His name is Darren Springer, and he called. He said, yo, man, you got to come, and you got to come on the summer solstice, which was June 21st. And I said, okay, man. And something just clicked. I said, now it's time. So I applied for my passport on a Tuesday. Got the passport the next Wednesday. It's unheard of, especially now when you guys have a passport for Mexico and Canada. They be swamped for weeks. You see what I'm saying? I got it in less than a week, and to do it that way, you got to pay almost $300. You see, I got it regular in a week just by applying for it, and I was like, wait a minute, maybe I was supposed to go. First of all, I was shocked, and I kept shaking my head the whole time because these are black people in London to show our brothers and sisters across the water. But when I got there, I thought it was just going to be a small community. I didn't know that when I was there, I thought I was in Harlem. I mean, literally thousands and thousands of black people. And I said, I'm shaking my head. I'm like, because we don't see but 2 or 3 of you all in a crowd of white people on TV. Perception is everything. And this is one way that they can destroy your power is, it's just like John Henry Clark said, if you counted yourself in the world, you wouldn't need no allies. We trying to be everything but ourselves. There was over a million black people over there. So I said, okay, so I did the lecture and it was packed, man, they treated me, that's me and my queen sitting down at the table. And they treated us like Michael Jackson. I mean, I signed so many autographs. I mean, it was so intense. Because they don't get the type of speakers and stuff like that. You see, so whenever they come, I mean, they treat and all the rest of them has already gone through, and they said, no, we saved the best for last. We got you. And they treated me like Michael Jackson. And the place was packed. We did 3 nights, 3 days, and the third day we did 10 hours. We got about 8 hours of ritual. So I had to do another 2 hours of lecturing because a whole other crew came out. And then, because we're supposed to do a whole ritual workshop that day, and I did 8 hours of ritual, so you need to get a hold of that DVD. I got a couple of copies here that you can get a hold to. But on that DVD, that third day, we got a ritual for everything. I got a because what had happened was I've been getting all these rituals throughout my career. And that Sunday morning, all of them came back just like a file just opened up. And we went in there and we just did ritual after ritual. That whole thing happened. But one of the experiences was 2 experiences happened. One, when I met my queen, what made me meet my queen was I was at the Million Woman March. I did a lecture in Philadelphia that night after the Million Woman March. She came to the lecture and I said, hey, you look like my first cousins. And that was back in 97. We didn't hook up until 2004. But the whole concept was, when she would come to the lectures, would you my hey cuz? So as a result, it goes to show you that there's a connection that we have with each other. You see what I'm saying? Not knowing it was going to be coming together as male and female, as an actual relationship and a couple. But I had saw that family thing and saw some things, you see, that what I was picking up, and I used to say, you look like my cousin. Now this is interesting here. It's interesting here because the cousin that she looked like just turned 40. We went to a celebration for her, and she had just turned 40. And everybody at the celebration, the youngest one before she was born is my younger brother, and hell, he's 45. He said, I'm 46, I'll be 47 on November 28th. My other brother is 48, and her oldest sister's like 49. So everybody there is, was, going towards 50. You see what I'm saying? Now, she's 5'0". My queen, you turn 5'0". My queen is 5'0". You see what I'm saying? It looked like she's 40. It looked like she's in her 30s. But the point I'm trying to make here was that the cousin that I used to say looked like her, looked like she was 75. And just turned 40. She looked the oldest there. And when we did a little celebration for her on her 40th birthday, and she looked the oldest. She looked like she was about early 60s. You see what I'm saying? So after she left, I said, oh man, something happened. Somebody done did some shit to her. Now I asked my brother Mike, the youngest one, who's very close to her, because she was married to one of his best friends. I said, anybody, you think anything ever happened to Chris, which was one of her husbands that died in 2000, had a heart attack? I said, anything happened, if she didn't get along with somebody down there, she said that the Tanya, the one that looked like Linda here, had it out with her husband's mother, her mother-in-law. I said, now this mother-in-law, husband came home drunk one night and laid on the front porch. And was drunk. He always come home drunk. Laid on the front porch, which he always does. In the cold, and she just left his ass out there and he froze to death. You see what I'm saying? And he froze to death. So, soon as she said she had it out, I'm like, oh Lord, not wrong goddamn place to be fucking around having it out and don't get your back up. Because I'm from roots country. You see what I'm saying? Wrong place. South Carolina. You see what I'm saying? They got 2 strains of voodoo that flourish in the United States. One is New Orleans area, Louisiana area, and the other area is South Carolina. But you got your Yoruba village, you got forms of voodoo. Hey, okay, all right. Got a crew from Detroit. That's right there.
I say.
All right. Yeah, that's the crew from Detroit. Anyway, I said, oh, this is bad. So I got on the bullhorn as far as the oracle, and I said, as far as the oracle, and I said, did somebody do something to her so they got that? Yes. And I said, so what can we do? They said, she's not going to listen to nothing you got to say. The only person she's going to listen to is your youngest brother, because they're close. And the youngest brother came through and called her up, and she denied all of it. Now, she didn't want to hear it. I said, well, she this shit. She going to look like she's damn 80 in about 4 or 5 years. You see what I'm saying? And she, about 4 or 5 years. One of the points I was trying to make was, when I met her, I got, maybe a couple of weeks before she moved to Atlanta, you were Babylon. So she came back the next day and said Babylonia. So what was interesting about this was, Babylon or Babylonia is a deity that when I was doing the lecture down in London, they was worshiping and had a whole ceremony worshiping this Babylon deity in the British Museum, and then they had this particular store that was the oldest occult store almost in the country, in the world, because Crowley used to go there. Alistair Crowley. So we ended up at the occult store, and Babylon is called the goddess of red. We ended up at the occult store, and my queen had on red. And they said we just had a celebration for this Babylon goddess. And I said, well, there she go right there. It just went over the woman's head. That here go again. They ain't going to suspect us. I can say it, because they ain't going to suspect no black folks. Colored folks. You see what I'm saying? As being anything on the high up. I said, there she go right there. That's one of the energies right there. So what happened was, they had this book called The Red Goddess. And somebody bought the book. No. So what happened was they sold us the book, but the book was supposed to be somebody got a disco going on over there or something. So they sold the book. I didn't say they pick up on the camera, People be hollering at me, what the hell going on? But anyway, they sold the book. You should say like the planes and all. Cut off your cell phones. But so they sold us the book, and it was what it was, and we were supposed to bring that book back to America. Now, it's interesting here because we went to the British Museum, and this is all on the tape. We ran into a family of settlers, me and the Queen. And down here is the Ganesha deity from India. But the very interesting thing was, when we was there, we started going through, we went through the Egyptian section. It's all on the DVD. Then we went to the East Indian section, because we covered Egypt, Samaria, and East India. And so what happened was, we get ready to go to the East Indian section, and what happened was, when we were doing the East Indian section, what happened was when we got all the way back to at the end of the actual East Indian section, what happened was they had some cabinets turned backwards. And so we turned the corner to go to the cabinets, and all the East Indian Vishnu, Lakshmi, Ganesha, all those turned into Nigerians, West Africans. So here it is, they had an origin of some entities that what they do is that they actually, when the people in India and stuff, because they got their caste system now, and so the darker you are, the more oppressed you are, they actually give up the original stuff, because the original stuff, you see what I'm saying, was all black. You see, so they give up a lot of that type of stuff. So this is interesting here. Because we got all documented, all these black figures They just basically sell to the British Museum and sell these particular places. And we got all this stuff. We got all this stuff on video, which is very interesting here. Very interesting here because to show you one here, I want to show you this one. I want to show you this one right quick. To show you one right quick is, well, you've seen this because I brought this one through. I used to sell this one. This is the form of Loxley holding up a baby, holding up a child. And this is interesting here because the spirit, I'm walking through the airport, the spirit say, turn, you're going to see something that you're familiar with. You're going to see that same image that you're familiar with. And I turn the image, and this is what I come up with. See what I'm saying? There's nothing by accident. You see. This is nothing, you see, this is what I come up with. You see what I'm saying? And it's nothing by accident. You see what I'm saying? That I used to sell this one, and I introduced this one a couple of years ago, and then bam, this got the baby got the head cut off. But that's just very interesting. That's just very interesting on how those types of but this is one of those ones that the museum will sell. The East Indian people or the people in Vietnam, they'll sell these particular ones to get rid of their black heritage. So they'll sell these to the Louvre in front, to the Guinea Museum in France and stuff like. Take for instance this one. In Vietnam, they got the Temple of Angkor Wat that you heard me talk about, and it's called, and Angkor Wat means Ankh Har Wat, which means the God Horus lives. In Vietnam. And yet, and that's in, Graham Hancock has a book, I forgot the name of that book. They have a book out, and it means the God Horus lives. And when they excavated Angkor Wat, a lot of the records was burned up and stuff because they had a Vietnam War. And after that, they had a lot of records because they was over there excavating and stuff. So they had to go and get Egyptian records of the layout of the temples in Kemet just to find out what stuff meant based on the layout in the Temple of Angkor Wat in Vietnam. And from that Temple of Angkor Wat, we have this. You think it's from Egypt. Now here it is. You got to look at the locks, look at the Egyptian or the Camite robe. You see what I'm saying? Which later on becomes your Masonic robe. You see what I'm saying? So to let you know the connection. But my point here is now we got to go back. The next time we go, we got to do the whole China section. Because we didn't have enough time. We didn't have enough time for the African section and the Chinese section. They were massive. Well, the African section, we already know we're going to find their African stuff. But the Chinese is what we're really looking for because you know that's all black. You see what I'm saying? We're going to get into some of that today. We're going to get into some of that today. But exceptions. So it's held in place based on stereotypes and this conception. And what Barack Obama was able to do, especially in the first part was in the primary, because they didn't even think a black man could win. They had to get over that. Ask what they put on Hillary. But what he was able to do during this particular primary with a series of debates is each debate he would wipe out a misconception and a stereotype. So he was able to destroy pockets of ingrained racism in them until this last debate, they say he has surpassed the mark on people not knowing or people having faith in him or the ability to do that. And so in so many words, messianically wise, he wiped out several pockets of misconceptions of institutionalized racism because they was actually seeing a black man, you see what I'm saying, that's more brilliant than what they have seen in the last 8 years. And McCain looked like an idiot. And that in itself, to go in and wipe out misconception, whereas white people saying he's our only hope. That's a messianic act based on the racism. So what we're going to do is, for the people that want this tarot altar, the people, I got several things inside. I got the tarot altar, I got the Shango, I got the healing spirit. I got the healing spirit. I even got this when we go into the, and so when we go into this, let me just show you some of these right quick. Because when we come back, we're going to go into Jesus himself. Yeah, there's a Jesus, but it's an Egyptian Jesus. It was Horus. Then in the Coptic Egyptian, it was Jesus. I want to say and stuff. But we're going to go into this particular deity, but we got these for sale, then we're going to go into this. This is Baron Samedi. Anytime you see the skeleton, that's the sister about the skeletons, that's the return of the ancestor called the Gate. But that's also Baron Samedi, who was the head of the Gate. You see the head, you see the double serpent, you see the cross. The cross represents Jesus Christ, but not Jesus of Christianity, but the Gnostic Jesus, which is a later form of Horus and stuff, which is on. So we're going to go into that when we come back. I'm going to put on my hat now. This is the one that was done in New Orleans right before the artist died. It was one. This was done in New Orleans. So to show you that this particular entity here is not just the skeleton that repulsed you, but that's every teenager and people are wearing skeletons. The earth is going skeleton crazy. That's because of this deity. But this is to show you here that no, it's a black man. Another super called me and said, no.
He has the shirt on now.
What is a skeleton?
And my grandson.
Look, what is a skeleton but an ancestor? What is an ancestor if it passes from the physical earth? What it leaves behind is the skeleton. So the African would symbolize the skeleton as the one that has gone and made the transition. You see what I'm saying? Now, I got one other thing I want to do. There's a Baron Samedi's dice divination. Because Baron Samedi is the joker. Dealing with the joker. Now, what you do with this? You got these for $5. But if anybody, a lot of people say they want psychics and they want people. You want to get into the spirit world? Let me show you how you do this. Then we're going to go to the break, but let me show you this one thing. What you do is, you get you a pair of dice. You take the dice. You say, I'm going to get that brand new car. You shake the dice and throw it down once. It became number 3. Number 3. Be very active today and don't allow anyone to slow you down. So you say, well, I need some more information. So you shake it, throw down 1. And it actually came 1. Start something new and end something old. You put those together, and you're supposed to shake the dice and get them. And you do that, and the spirit will come and they'll give you a series of 12, because there's 12 numbers on the dice. And you can divine this way. So this is Baron Samedi's dice divination. Yeah, what's that?
Hey, Bobby, I just got to say, that picture you had of the black guy,
Yeah.
me and Leslie was chopping up on what picture we was going to put on the flyer, and we found that one right there.
Yeah.
Just give me the creep.
Yeah.
You got the creep.
And so I do have some of these for sale. I got them in the black and white. Cost too much to produce color. But we got them for $5. I got this one. I got the Barack Obama, and I also have this one, which is very powerful. This one right here. That's gold. You see what I'm saying? That's gold. You see what I'm saying? On that particular level. Yeah. And so we're gonna go into that type of. We're gonna go into that when we come back. So for the people that's interested in the dice divination, and we put out these particular things because it's interesting because when the Baron comes up, this is one of the barons. Wearing the top hat. Wearing the top hat. Now I'm gonna show you something else because when this Baron made the transition, he called for this to happen. I want to show you this. I want to show you this. This is going to do something. I want to show you this right quick. I'm going to say a little bit about it. But Isaac Hayes' first album, he got the top hat. Mm-hmm. And so, therefore, we put his altar up late July. He made the transition. And they said, well, why? He said, well, when you set up a certain image down here, it comes into law on the spirit plane. He said, so I set up this black Moses, and now he's souls, and he guided to the other realm, and so I had to go and do my role as black Moses, because I had completed all my system down here. You see what I'm saying? You see? So these are the barons. So I do have the Duke Ellington also. I got the Sun Ra and the different things like that and all. So if anybody's interested in that, you all do that. We're going to go to a break. And so when we come back, we can get down to some little stuff.
All right.
As long as you don't get that brother who edited the last one, cutting out all kind of shit. They can decide, he just gonna decide what's gonna go on my damn tape. You on now?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Ready. Yeah.
Like I say, you need to take advantage of this is Lakshmi's festival. She is the East Indian equivalent of Aset in Heru. And the thing about her colors are red and gold. Gold based on money. She's a goddess of fortune and wealth and beauty. And her day in India is equivalent to New Year's, Christmas, and 4th of July all wrapped into one. And that just hit on Thursday. So they get now, and the funny part about it is they are more interested in the Africans in America than they are people in India. That's what, so my point is, for $5 it is pertinent because she's going to work for you. You never got one of the lots because that's one of their goals. They're interested in the Africans in America than any place in the earth because they know that we're at the head of the snake on the rise. You see what I'm saying? The head of the snake on the rise. So you need to get a hold of that. Just to show you the nastiness, I'm going to put this back in the thing because we talked about this when it came out. I think it hit in March. But since it was such a blatant thing, we're going to re-enter this. And this is the Vogue magazine. What's your boy name right there? LeBron James. And we want to re-enter this one because even he was too stupid to understand what was going on. That they took him like this, and it's coming from this picture of King Kong. With the same green dress on.
And that girl is Tom Brady's girlfriend. The model is Tom Brady's quarterback. That's his
Oh yeah. Well, I'm just saying. You know,
I know. I mean, that's see how they do that.
No, but this will. She ain't ashamed. This nigga right here.
Right.
You see, that's the most important thing. You know.
Right. I understand.
You know. And with this, so don't and he couldn't even make the connection. This was blatant racism. You see what I'm saying? So I want to put that back out because that happened, and they had discussions on it all the spring, but it went away. But I figured we need to to bring that back. We need to bring that back. Okay.